Anamorphic drawings are drawings that look three-dimensional when looked at from a certain angle. In this project, we're going to make a simple sphere anamorphic drawing that looks like it's floating. Here we have a picture of a sphere, shaded. We've got a highlight area, a core shadow, that'll be the darkest area, mid-tones on both sides of the core shadow, and reflected light that bounces off the table. The idea when you shade one of these is you start with the highlight, your lightest light, and then slowly get darker until you get to the core shadow, and then slowly get lighter again. When I take the cast shadow out of my picture and then put it below it, it looks like it's floating. We're going to have these photos ready for you in this lesson in case you need to refer to them. But we're going to draw something like this. First, I'm going to trace a circle with whatever I have. Don't push hard with your pencil. You just kind of want to get an idea of where the sphere is going to be. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly sketch out kind of where the highlight is, and then maybe kind of where the core shadow goes, and then maybe where the reflected light at the bottom is. You can refer to that picture if you need to. It will be in the lesson on your iPad and you will have access to it. Now I'm just going to start laying in value. I'm going to get my darkest darks in the core shadow. I am going to have my midtones going closer to the highlight. As you get to the highlight, it should be very, very light. And as you get down to the reflected light, it should be light again too. The idea is to shade it so it just gradually changes from very light to the darkest dark in the core shadow. Some artists will kind of smudge with their hands or with a napkin or a paper towel or something to kind of blend those values together. But there's other artists that think that's cheating. Some real purists say you just do this by pushing hard with your pencil or lightly with your pencil. I am not one of those purists. I figure if your picture looks good, does it really matter how you did it? So if you would like to kind of smudge with your finger, go for it. If you don't like what you have, you can always lighten it up with an eraser. That is really how shading works. You put a little bit of a tone on, you take a little bit off. You put a little bit on, you take a little bit off. You put a little on, you take a little bit off. Go slow, make sure you have all the different parts of the sphere, from highlight to midtones to core shadow to midtones again, and then the reflected light at the bottom. Now let's put in the shadow. I'm going to kind of put it in under the sphere. It's going to be kind of an oval, and I'm just going to kind of get the shape of it right now. Look at the highlight, and that's the direction that the light will be coming in. So if the highlight's on the left, your shadow is going to be on the right. If your highlight's on the right, your shadow is going to be on the left. Now here's a trick to kind of make it look more 3D. I'm going to use a scissors, and I'm going to cut from the side of the paper. I'm going to cut to the sphere, and then around the sphere, about halfway up the sphere. And then I'm just going to toss that piece of paper away. And there you go. Now, the thing about anamorphic drawings is they don't really make sense if you look at them from the wrong way. Like, this doesn't really make sense right now. But if you turn it the other way, it looks like the sphere is floating, even though it is still flat. These are really fun to do, and they look really cool when they're finished.